Oh, I almost started this recording without ordering my lunch. That would have been bad for everybody involved. Even though it's the holidays, a lot of people are thinking about what comes next. Taxes. People do their taxes this time of year. One of my clearest memories as a child was having some kind of dental surgery, and they gave me meds. And coming out of the meds, I was so crazy on them. All I remember thinking was, I need to do my taxes with an accountant that happens to also be a penguin. Looks like the food will be here in 20 minutes. I think that's enough time. Steve Weiner here from GetRubix.com, and today I'm going to show you how we can set a remediation PowerShell script in Intune to automatically keep our Chocolatey applications up to date. What about the taxes or the Chipotle? Are we recording? Okay, so the whole crux of this episode and what we're going to talk about is here, let me open PowerShell for a moment. And we've done some episodes on Chocolatey and how we can use Intune to install those. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to show you this command, choco outdated. This is going to tell us what applications Chocolatey has installed on our machine that are not up to date with the most current version. So what we're going to do is we're going to kind of automate this process and turn this into a remediation so we can detect if we're getting back apps that are not up to date and how we're going to just automatically keep them updated. So this should make things nice and easy for us if you are using Chocolatey to manage a good part of your applications. So I'm actually using my lab machine right now in testing, which is what you're looking at. I enrolled it in the lab. So we are going to build this on the Mac side. I did say we're going to start using a Mac lab, and in the spirit of starting to support Macs more, let's go ahead and do it. So I'm going to make a new folder on this side and call it Choco Remediation. Okay, and we are gonna put our files in there. So I'm gonna open Visual Studio Code. Let's actually open that folder up. So desktop, Choco Remediation, and open. Yes, I trust myself very much. Let's go ahead and add Choco update apps detect .ps1, and we're also going to need a remediate, so I'm going to make another one. Choco up. What happened here? Oh, I don't have PowerShell installed on the Mac. I will do that later. We don't need it. We're not going to run it on the Mac. We're just going to deploy it from here. So let's rename this since it messed me up. Choco update apps remediate .ps1. Okay, so for the detection, and this is interesting, and I'm going to show you why I'm not just going to give you the script and post it, because we had to do some interesting stuff with this. I had to work with my developer, Logan, who I'm hoping to get on the podcast soon, so I don't know, check one of these Thursdays and see what's up. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to check for Chocolatey. I mean, obviously, if you're using Chocolatey, it's going to be there on the machines. But the problem is if people have, if we're making them available through company portal, then we don't know who has went and installed them, or we can. But this is just a broad way to just check for if Chocolatey is there, and if it's not there, it'll install it. So it's not a big deal. We're installing it anyway. So we're going to check for Chocolatey. Then we're going to get the outdated apps. Okay, can I make this bigger? I can make it bigger. There we go. Check for outdated apps. Okay, then we're going to if found, if outdated apps are found, exit 1 to remediate, because that's how the remediation works. You would exit 0 if everything was cool, and 1 if you have a problem. So checking for Chocolatey, first thing we're going to do is choco equals C, program data, Chocolatey, and we're going to write host, checking if Chocolatey is installed on, and this will be computer name. That's like our host name. We'll use the built-in variable for that. All right, and then we just check for the test path. If test path choco is not there, then we're going to write host, chocolatey not found, installing now. And we are going to invoke expression, new object, same way we installed chocolatey last time, system.net, but I like to type it out. I feel like I get more comfortable with it if I have to do it in a pinch. I have been in situations when I used to go, or still go on site with customers and have to, you never know, if you gotta pull up to a machine and install chocolatey very quickly. Org install.ps1. Okay, so that'll install it, and then we can write host. This should actually be in a try catch. Chocolatey not found, installing now. Let's actually put that in a try catch. Okay. Oh. Forgetting you're on a Mac. Keyboard shortcuts are a little different. Write host. Successfully installed Chocolatey. And then we'll just catch the error with a message variable. And we will write host, error installing Chocolatey. Okay, and then that's the end of the if, and then we'll just put an else, write host, Chocolatey is installed, and that completes our check. Okay, so now getting the out-of-date apps. So what's really interesting about getting these, I'll flip back to the PC for a minute. Notice how when we ran that, this was the output of Choco outdated. I'll try to make this a little bigger. So if you see this, this is all a string. These are all just string lines. What we really want is this code inside. We don't need any of this, 10 packages are out of date, how it displays. Yeah, that was a little weird. The machine rebooted. So yeah, basically we want to work with this data in between. So we are going to capture that. So let's scroll down. So how are we going to get the outdated apps? So we are going to make a variable called outdated apps. And that's going to be equal to the choco outdated command. Okay? But the problem is that's going to have all the strings. So what we're going to do is we actually did this method where we knew how many strings there were. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4. There was about 5 strings altogether. 1, 2, 3, 4. So basically we want to we want to start on the 5th string, and then we want to get rid of the string that's empty. So we don't want that. So let's go ahead and build that out. So we're actually going to start with a counter that's going to be 0, and our apps variable, which is what we want to end up with, which is going to be an empty array for now. So what we're going to do is for each X in outdated apps, right? Because that's our string array, essentially. We're going to say if the counter is less than 5, which is 4, basically, because we're skipping 4 lines. What we're going to do is we're going to increase the counter by 1, and we're going to continue. And that's it. We're not going to go to the next part. And we're also going to say if the if the actual line is empty, then we're going to break, meaning we're going to stop. So let's go ahead, and then after all that, the things we want the apps, but we just want the name. We don't need the versioning, so we're going to split it at the pipe. right there. Okay, so we're going to the apps. Go ahead and add the X split. The thing we want to split is at the pipe, and we want the first part of that, so the 0. Cool. And that will be it. And then what we're going to do is our apps array is essentially going to have, so let's see if we can do this real quick. If I could show you what this, how this outputs. Okay. So we have outdated. Let's zoom in on this a little bit. So outdated apps equals choco. Oh, outdated. Let's call that. Okay, that's exactly what we thought it was. Now let's add that logic so I can show you how it works. So we're going to do a counter equals 0. Apps equals empty array for each X in outdated apps. We're going to, if the counter is less than 5, we're going to add 1 and continue. And then if the line is just a white space or blank, we break. So that'll take care of the ending. And then we plus equals X split pipe 0. Oh, a little too much there. Yeah, let's see what happens here. I think I did it right. So now if I call apps, we just get what we want. We just get the name instead of all the other stuff in there. So we are good. Okay, so that was part 1, where we were just building the detection script. It went a little longer than I thought, but it was kind of critical to show all the pieces and how we took the Choco outdated output, because it's a string and we were able to work with that. So we'll pause there. I also wanted to show you some results, but I was having a problem with some of my test machines. So instead of fighting through that, so we got a nice little part 1. Big thank you to everyone in the Discord. Today we hit 100 members who are now known as the founders, the Get Rubik's founders. And there's a special text is green and there's an icon or something, I'm told. That's what Lisa said anyway. But thank you. So it's really cool that the community grew so fast, and we're going to have a lot of awesome stuff coming up, starting with coming back Wednesday for part 2 of whatever we're doing here with Chocolatey.